For me, this is fight of the night, and I'm obviously looking forward to the main event with Cyril Gane taking on the Black Beast. But I think this is the hardcore's main event. Vicente Luque, the Silent Assassin, taking on Michael Chiesa, aka Maverick. Maverick is 17-4, Chiesa 27-1, and the last time we saw Chiesa, I don't think he's ever looked better. Right? We saw him just absolutely outclass Neil Magny across 5 rounds, and he did to Neil Magny what Neil Magny does to a lot of guys, and managed to just do so, I don't want to say with ease, but in dominant 5 round fashion. And before that, he did the same thing to Rafael Dos Nachos. He did the same thing to Diego Sanchez and even submitted Carlos Condit. So he's, completing a 4 fight win streak heading into this contest against Vicente Luque. But Luque is another dude also coming in, never looking better, coming in off multiple recent finishes, right? He absolutely brutalized Tyron Woodley, ultimately got the choke, but he had T Wood on skates before that. And he absolutely flatlined Randy Brown, took out Nico Price. And if we just look at his recent 10 fights, the only losses against Wonderboy Thompson, who we know is a perplexing puzzle to deal with at 170. So who are you going with in this one? I'm beyond stoked for this. If you can't tell, plus 115 Chiesa versus minus 140 Luque. Who you got?
Yeah, no, this is an absolute pick 'em. Love the style. My biggest thing is Vicente. Clearly, he can choke people out, as we saw. He rocked Woodley and choked him out. He has a great jiu-jitsu pedigree, but I don't really know how good he is at wrestling. Scrambling. We don't really see that. He's kind of a stand-up, and he absolutely smashes people. Chiesa's grappling and pace is insane, and he's just been looking stronger than ever. And Vicente Luque is, his pace, and he doesn't get gassed out. He's just an absolute savage. Both these guys are savages. If the other fight that we broke down is not fight of the night, this one I guarantee you is, and maybe they both are. I don't know. This is going to be a crazy fight. My only concern is I think Vicente is a better all-around fighter, and Chiesa is a somewhat almost master in just one, which is the grappling. I can't say master because he's not the champion. He's not Usman, and he's a very good grappler though, nonetheless. And I think Vicente is a good enough grappler. He's definitely a way better striker, and he hits 10 times harder, I would say. So I'm a little scared for Michael. I think if he gets hit, he's going to go down. And it's not going to look pretty. So I think I got to go with Tapology. 65% going, Vicente winning this, majority knockout. And that's how I kind of see it. I think Vicente knows he's going to go for those takedowns. Chiesa doesn't really have a stand-up game. Like from his last few fights, he kind of just like he does like the Ben Askren, walks in there and then just amazing grappling. Just wherever you go, he's on top and he counters you. But I think Vicente is good enough to not let that happen, or he's able to counter that. Maybe sub the sub master Maverick. I don't know, but I'm going with knockout first round Vicente Luque.
Yeah, really good stuff. And I was going to ask you some questions, but you really covered all of it for sure. I guess the only area where I might disagree is when we compare Michael Chiesa's stand-up to Ben Askren. I like to think Chiesa's a little bit more refined on the feet, but I hear your point nonetheless because Chiesa is a guy who's just trying to take you down. He's trying to keep you down, and he's trying to brutalize you when down there. So I'm with you in that. I think the story of this fight is going to be that, these takedowns is, do you think Luque is going to be able to stuff Chiesa's efforts? Because we've seen Chiesa go for days, right? This is a guy with insane pressure, insane cardio, unlimited gas tank. So even if Chiesa strikes out 3, 4, 5 times, I feel like he's going to continuously be there trying to get this fight in a place where he knows it's advantageous, or at least will believe it's advantageous. Because you mentioned Luque's ground game, no slouch there as well. So are you confident that Luque is going to be able to stop enough of these takedowns? And if he doesn't stop one, compete on the ground. How do you see that one? How do you see that going?
Yeah, I think Vicente is strong enough. He's
Okay.
a big guy, and honestly, I don't even see this going to the ground. I think if he goes for a takedown, I think Vicente is going to react and counter, and honestly, knock his lights out. But if it, let's just say it goes to the ground, I think Chiesa will definitely have the upper hand, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's more of a stalemate, or Vicente has some nice things going down there. I don't really know. I'm very curious on how it's going to play. I kind of hope it hits the ground just to see, because I feel like we haven't really seen Vicente really tested on the ground, where it's like Usman on him or someone on that caliber, and see how does he handle? Does he break? And that's the thing, is most of the time when these wrestlers do this, like Chiesa, Usman, they break you mentally. It's not that you're bad or you're not good enough. It's they break you and you kind of just give up because you're like, I'm over this. I'm exhausted. And that's one of the best tools that you can have. So Chiesa definitely has an upper hand if he can get his game plan in play and make it work. It's all about how Luque reacts to it.
Yeah, I'm so stoked for this one, and I'm just curious to, as you mentioned, to see how he reacts to everything that Chiesa will be bringing for sure. But I think the Sanford MMA training is going to be helpful for Luque. He's obviously going with the best dudes in the world, but for some reason, I just got to go with the Maverick in this one. I think he's going to get this one to the mat, and if he doesn't, it's going to be a long night for Chiesa. But I just have faith in his ability to get it there and ultimately have enough control time, maybe bust him up on the ground if possible. But as you mentioned, if this fight, if he's unable to get this one to the mat, Vicente Luque is a way more refined, way stronger striker, and I will be worried for the Logan Paul or the Maverick if Chiesa can't get this one to the mat. But ultimately, I think he will. I'm going to go with the 35% rolling with Michael Chiesa. Majority of it is by decision, so I think that's where the victory for Chiesa will come as well. But if Luque starches Chiesa, it's not going to be the most surprising thing in the world. So I wouldn't say that I'm rolling with the strongest, utmost confidence in this pick. It's a true coin flip for me. I just happen to be going with Maverick. So any last thoughts on this welterweight scrap? I'm so stoked for this.
No, yeah, this one I'm so stoked for. This and the main event are definitely my two favorites, I would say. This one's just gonna be crazy. Yeah, from start to finish, it's just gonna be insane, and I'm very curious to see how Chiesa reacts to that first hit he gets hit by, and then how Vicente reacts on that first takedown if he gets taken down. It's gonna be one heck of a fight.
100%, no doubts. Let us know in the comments who you're going with. Are you rolling with the Silent Assassin, or you're going to go with the Meaty Maverick Chiesa in this one? Should be welterweight fireworks. Grill that slab if you made it this far, boys. Check out the meat event and the other vids.